What?
The fridge. That's teamwork. Welcome back to What the Fridge. We haven't done What the Fridge in quite a while, but I've been curious what's in there. And I want to see if I can make something out of it. So I thought you guys could join me. We're gonna go see what's in the fridge and see if I can make an intelligible meal or dish of some sort out of what I find. Every time I describe the show premise, I'm like, this is rock solid. Needs no explanation. Let's go. Hello and welcome to What the Fridge. No, I was anticipating it at that time. Come on over.
Why are you doing multiple takes? I'm just putting all this in.
I'm having a manic episode. Come on over here. Join me, won't you, as we take a peek behind the French doors of destiny. That's what I call the fridge. Out loud every time I open it. Even if I'm alone. What do we got here? We have a lot of eggs. I don't feel like eggs. I don't feel like eggs right now. I'm good. My show, I don't have to. A whole bunch of old rice. Can't use that. I got some miso paste, always fun to play with. Homemade cream cheese with just the littlest bit of mold on it. So I'm not gonna do that.
Also, you're just gonna leave it in the fridge along with the old rice.
Yeah.
Just leave it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you know why I haven't thrown this out yet? Because of its size. You ever have something that you made in the fridge and it gets too old and it's so big that it stays there way too long? Just because of its sheer volume, you're like, I don't want to throw it. It's gonna take up half a trash bag. Story of my life. Cherry tomatoes though. We got some cherry tomatoes. Those are always fun. They're looking a little old. They're a little wrinkly around the outside, but a lot of them are still nice and plump, and they're on the vine, so that's gonna keep them good longer. Lard, got some lard. That's fun. Arugula, it's a little past its prime, but that's what this show is about entirely. Mustn't forget the meat and cheese drawer. Got some more cream cheese, we got Monterey Jack, I got cheddar, I got tons of butter, and I have some split chicken breast. So this could be cool, I could like roast this or something. And it's still good? It's still good. It expires tomorrow. That's fantastic. Chicken, cherry tomatoes. Could I do, oh my God, dude, arugula and cherry tomato. I could make a, what do you call it?
Chicken, arugula, and cherry tomatoes?
That was it, thank you so much. Milanese. We can do a chicken Milanese. We got all the key ingredients for chicken Milanese. So chicken Milanese is one of my favorite dishes. It is just a fried chicken cutlet with a nice crispy crust, and then we top it with a lightly dressed arugula salad, and normally just plain cherry tomatoes. But I'm gonna confit them, which I think is both they're gonna look really good and they're gonna taste amazing. They're gonna add a whole new level of richness to the dish. Just like me. Just like you do to me.
Because they've made you rich by watching your videos?
I was talking to you, but yeah, you guys too. Yeah, you guys have added a lot of literal richness to my life. Thank you for that. All right, so to make the tomato confit, because it's charming, I'm gonna try to keep these guys on the stem, just because like if I can keep them together, yeah, they're sticking together. If I can put that on top of the chicken cutlet, you know, I automatically win a James Beard Award. And then I'm gonna pick through and pick the plumper, less wrinkly guys. The wrinkly guys aren't bad or gonna make you sick or anything, but they've definitely lost flavor and texture to the point where I wonder if they're even worth saving.
Do you think that about me?
Brad, no. No, you're still ripe, fresh, plump young tomato. If these had mold on them, it'd be a different story, but they're just a little wrinkly and we're about to just soak them and cook them in olive oil. So they're gonna be indistinguishable after that. So I'm putting all of them in there, just to show you that even an old tomato can learn new tricks.
So you do think I'm old?
No, you're 2 years younger than me. This basil is pretty far gone. There's like 1 or 2 leaves that are still halfway decent, but most of them are starting to discolor. But these stems have a ton of basil flavor. And if we just put a couple of them in there, they're gonna imbue that basil flavor. I'm going to add 3 bay leaves, garlic. You wanna put garlic in here for 2 reasons. First off, obviously it's gonna be delicious and it's gonna make the tomatoes taste of garlic. Duh, that's why we're doing it. But it also confits the garlic. So you end up with these really soft, roasty cloves that are perfect for putting in salad dressings or spreading on bread or simply rubbing on your private parts when trying to ward off bears. So we have some bay leaves, some basil stems, some garlic cloves, whole peppercorns, And now I'm just gonna cover it with oil. I definitely way overdid it. Way overdid it. I just want you guys to think I'm cool. So I way overdid it. So this guy's ready to go. I'm gonna cover it up. I'm gonna put it in a 200-degree Fahrenheit oven for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours until the tomatoes are starting to burst, but they haven't like completely disintegrated. So we just want them to just be starting to pop. And I have to go to the bathroom. Oh, I'm glad nobody can hear me say that though. Okay, some light butchery. Starting by ripping off the skin. Everybody's favorite visual and sound effect. This freaks me out, honestly, ripping off the skin, because it comes off so easy. Like, would my skin come off this easy if you just tugged at it? Like, would I just peel like an orange like that? Really makes you think.
Andrew, I don't think people like this.
Well, you don't have to put it in, do you? You're editing this right now.
I've already edited with Daisy.
Yes.
Why did I leave it in?
I don't know. That's a question for you and you alone. Okay. We got a nice, clean, low-fat chicken breast. That's right where we want to live. So to butterfly these, you're looking for the flatter side of the breast. You want this to be the sort of bookend that you open. So I'm cutting in from the other side, almost all the way through, and then just opening it right up. Pound these guys out a little bit. I don't know where the meat mallet is, so if you don't have a meat mallet, this will work just fine. If anything, kind of better, because it's applying really even pressure with each hit. So you're not smacking just a little part, which sometimes if you overdo that, you'll punch right through the breast. Just trying to get this the same thickness so that it cooks evenly when we deep fry it. And now it is best practice to lightly salt and effectively dry brine the chicken. This is gonna deeply flavor it, and it's going to keep it juicier and tenderer when it comes time to fry. So lately I've been doing a sort of kitchen sink deep frying breading. I basically just take everything I can, flour, panko, regular breadcrumbs, cornflakes, cornstarch, just mix them all together, and it makes an incredible crust. Today, I'm gonna try out this Bisquick, which is a combination of flour, cornstarch, some leavening, baking soda, dextrose, vegetable oil, sugar, salt. So I see only things that could probably help a deep fry. Rolling the dice a little bit, but also I am safeguarding it pretty heavily because I'm gonna use about that much Bisquick, but then I'm gonna add everything else to it. So it's got some bumpers on it, don't worry. All right, so I'm mixing this all together. Salt in there as well. There we go, and there's our breading. Okay, been about 2 hours. Let's check our tomatoes. Yeah, that's good. You can see that the tomatoes have just started to burst. They're not becoming super wrinkly or mushy. They've just started to burst. So I'm gonna set this aside to cool. We can fry our chicken. So let's see if I can manage to do the old wet hand, dry hand. You know what I'm talking about when I say wet hand, dry hand, Brad?
I do.
Well, just in case the audience doesn't know,
Ow.
I'm going to try to use one hand for the wet stuff, one hand for the dry stuff. Otherwise, if you use one for both, you end up getting these like sort of breading fingers as though you're trying to bread and fry yourself, which is not the objective here today. Starting with flour, with the dry hand, you see, into the wet, which means what kids?
It's time to eat!
You're absolutely right, kids. All right, now it's on the dry again, which means we're switching to the dry hand. There we go. Make sure it's good and covered. Give it a good press. There we go. That's going to be, as long as the Bisquick doesn't mess it up, a crispy chicken breast.
I'm sorry. 1 second. I'm gonna roll here.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You want to say what you did about the suicide pact again? Or?
Not particularly. I got some lard and peanut oil. We're bringing this baddie up to 360 some odd degrees Fahrenheit. Shake off excess. Drop it in and gently lay it away from you. This is probably gonna take 3-4 minutes roughly. Might get a little nervous because you can see that the cornflakes are browning faster than the rest of it, but don't worry, hold strong. Here, I'm gonna try to give this a flip because I don't want hot spots to develop on the bottom. Just be careful because it can spray you. Just turn it toward the camera operator. That's the best move. But that's looking like a good crust to me. It's looking like it's going places. And because it's kind of pooling, you see how like right there it's pooling? I don't want that because then that oil gets cold and it soaks in. So I'm just sort of circulating it over the top of the chicken. Okay, now I'm going to remove this to a wire rack set in a rim baking sheet because I'm gonna hold it in a low oven until we're ready to serve. Look at that chicken sizzle. I need to make a quick and easy lemon vinaigrette. I'm gonna start with half a lemon because you need to emulsify water in oil or oil in water. You can't have 50-50. You can, but it just won't be very thick or creamy. So I wanna start with less lemon because I don't want it to be a super bitter, sour dressing. I want it to be, you know, balanced, nice and good. And then the last thing I wanna do is grab one of these lovely garlic cloves. I'm gonna press it through a garlic press. Hefty pinch of salt, lots and lots of freshly ground black pepper, and give it a whip. You see that? You see how it's emulsifying into a thicker, creamier dressing? It's because we have water's being emulsified into the oil. You see? Do you see this? You see? It's good, yeah? I want something more, I want something rich. I might throw a little mustard in there. And where is our honey? What am I to do without honey? I guess I could use agave, that's fine. Just don't tell anybody. This is honey. This is normal honey. We have our dressing, so I'm just gonna dress the arugula, hit it with some freshly shaved Parmesan, and we're ready to eat. Pro tip, if you have some cheese and you're looking at it and you're like, I don't trust that, you can just chop it off. I'm feeding friends and family here, so I'm not trying to take any risks, not with their safety, not with yours, Brad. Not on my watch.
I mean, you did turn a chicken cutlet toward me when it was spattering.
Well, yes, but that was just to assert dominance over you. I didn't intend to actually harm you. All right, arugula is a little wilted, but there's nothing gooey. Just if anything's wet or slimy or dark green and shrunk and shriveled, get rid of that, but everything else is good to go. Nice vinaigrettes, shave a little bit of parm in there. Always, always, always taste your salad. Yep, correct. Okay, let's plate up, it's time. Here's our chicken. On goes the arugula. Now for presentation's sake, I might do this just to be a badass. And of course, we gotta finish with a little bit of parm. And there you have it. That was pretty quick and easy. The confit tomatoes, you can make these once a week. It is a condiment that you will use all the time. On top of this, it's just elevating a classic. It's gonna be good. Should I eat it? Well, it's one of my favorites. Because I kind of tolerate raw tomatoes, you know? But in this context, with them just cooked just slightly, where they're blistered, they're amazing on so many things, but on top of chicken Milanese, it just elevates it to a whole new level. This is one of my favorites, and it is so shatteringly crispy. You hear?
Oh yeah. Can you say it's gonna be okay while you do that?
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Is that what ASMR people do? Well, that's kind of nice, you know? That's kind of nice that they say that instead of like, all of life is a nightmare.
I don't know, that's kind of working for me too.
Okay.